All right, and on that note, Tommy T, okay, let's get right to the sweaty hit list. Move right into it. Would you like to do a Raider wrap? I mean, they were off this week, but do you want to just, like, in a nutshell, capsulize what's happening so far?
Well, I think the Raider wrap is I think that this past weekend was their best week of the season because they didn't play, because they've been a disaster. Like, they've been a disaster. You know, I mean, it's terrible. This team's a disaster zone. You know, like, last year they had the weirdest year ever when they had all the controversy at the beginning of the year, and then they won all those games, and then they ended up making it to the playoffs. But, this year, I mean, they blew that game against the Chiefs 2 weeks ago, right? They blew that game. Weren't they winning 17-3 or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they blew that game. And then, the running back played great. Josh Jacobs played great. But so this week they were off, and they're getting ready for the Houston Texans. The Texans are 1-3-1. The Raiders are 1-4. So if the Raiders could beat the Texans this weekend, they can move to 2-4, which means that they would tie Denver for last place. So
yeah, but in that division, they're what are they, 2 games back of KC? But KC beat them because that division's it's another weird thing. What's going on there? It's
it's supposed to be a much better division. When Denver got the quarterback Russell Wilson, Denver's been, like they said last night in the game last night, the announcer said that Denver has been considered a quarterback away for a few years, right? Like that's the way that everyone's basically looked at Denver because their defense is so awesome that they said this team's a quarterback away. So they traded for Russell Wilson. They gave away a bunch of picks, a couple players for him, and they give him, and he's terrible. So they couldn't have expected that. He's awful, right? So they're still a quarterback away. They're 2-4. The Chargers are 4-2, but they got the most wicky-wacky coach since Sam Weish in the 80s. Remember Sam Weish from the Bengals? The Steelers nicknamed him Wicky Wacky. They called him Wicky Wacky.
Why? What was that about?
This guy, Brandon Staley, who's named after my junior high school in Rome, New York, Staley Junior High School. This guy's a nut. This guy's a nut. You don't know what he's doing. He's the worst coach in the league, but the Chargers are still 4-2. So if the Raiders could beat Houston, they can go 2-4, which means that they're going to be, they're going to be right there. They're going to be like 2 games behind Kansas City and the Chargers. So that, that's good for them.
So but do you think they still have a chance? I mean, a lot of stuff's going to have to happen soon, but
they're not going to make the playoffs. Their defense is no good. Their defensive backs are terrible. That's the problem. They drafted so many bad players when John Gruden and that Mike Mayock were there. They reached on all those first-round picks that they got for Amari Cooper and for Khalil Mack. They swung and missed on everybody. Like, Henry Ruggs is in jail. That one guy from Ohio State, the defensive back, he took a video last year on Twitter with an assault rifle saying he's going to get you. I'm going to get you. And so he's out of the league. The Cleveland Farrell from Clemson, he's terrible. The defensive end's terrible. Jonathan Abrams, the safety from Mississippi State, is terrible. So they just drafted terribly all the way across the board. So they got nothing on defense.
So you think? I mean, yeah, it's just they're always. But even last year they were odd. Like it looked like it was going to be something, then it wasn't. This year, I think the expectations were even higher. It's just frustrating. It's like, what's going on? I think 2 games they had big leads. I think 2 games.
Yeah. I don't think the expectations were higher this year because they had the new coach, Josh McDaniels from the Patriots, but he was so bad years ago when he coached Denver that I don't know if the expectations were high.
Really?
I don't know. I don't really know what, I mean, they did sign maybe because they signed Devontae Adams, and maybe you're right in that regard. They did sign the best wide receiver in football.
I mean, you would think just signing him would change things, but like what you've said is the weak link's the secondary.
It's bad. It's really bad. But also after the game against the Chiefs, Devontae Adams ran over the photographer, and now he's getting sued. It's like ridiculous. He ran over the photographer, buddy.
Yeah, but I don't know. That guy, the photographer, looked like they kind of like, it was one of those things, when like you're walking like on a busy street or something, or in a mall, and you kind of like you almost bump into someone, and then they almost bump into you, and you kind of like try to move. It almost looked like it was like that. And then, unfortunately, the guy came back in. The guy was in. The guy was out. And then Adams tried to move. He was like this and that. And then the guy got in front of him again. And then I think Adams just was so frustrated because of the game, but he shouldn't have pushed them. I think it was just get out of my way. I gotta get out of here. But yeah. I don't even think he hurt the guy, did he? Come on, the guy fell down.
The guy's claiming that he suffered a partial concussion and injured back, and he's going to sue him for a bunch of money now. It's ridiculous.
All right, you know what that guy should watch as far as photographers getting injured? He should watch the Super Bowl celebration party the Rams had last year. And they were on that stage. You know how they make those stages, those presentation stages for the parades, championship parades, and all the players and coaches get on there and they holler, and then we're going to three-peat and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the Rams, they had one of those stages, and the photographer was on the stage. There's video of it, and she's got her, and she's taking pictures, and it was like a U shape, right? And she was on one of the ends. And she's taking pictures, and she's going back to get a wider angle, and she falls. She fell off the stage.
Did she get hurt?
Yeah.
Oh,
she hurt her back.
I got something for you here to help us along with the hit list. Like our boys, like our uncles at PTI, right? So when it's time, let's go.
Oh,
Number 2 on the hit list.
I see you now.
Number 2 in
there. I like that bell. That's better than my egg beater. But anyway, real quick, so she fell. When she fell, Stafford was wasted. She was taking pictures of Stafford. He was there with his wife, and Stafford looked over the edge and saw her down there, and he just turned around and walked back, and his wife then went over, and then they got people over there. Stafford and his wife paid her whole hospital bill. Her camera equipment. So she really got hurt. But you know what? Whoever made that stage, I'd sue them. They shouldn't make those celebration stages for the parades without a barrier. So if you're walking or you're moving, even the players are drunk. You want one of those players? You want Stafford falling off the stage? Yeah. I can't believe whoever designed that should be fired. But this guy who Devontae Adams hit, he should watch that tape. He's playing that. He didn't even hit his head. It looked like his camera equipment was okay, but everyone's cash and grab. Don't they call that cash and grab or grab cash
or grab? Whatever. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. So our Raider wrap is probably not going to happen this year. I hate to say that because every week I would like to talk positive about them or talk in more detail about them, but it's nonsense right now.
Yeah, they're not that good. They're okay. They're not that good.
All right, so hit the bell. Yeah. Hit the bell. All right, good. So what I want to do really quick, these are going to be quick things. Right now we got all sports going. This is the time of year with all sports going. So let's talk a little bats and balls. Let's just talk real quick MLB. I mean, there were some big upsets. And let's talk, I think the Yankees are up right now.
Yeah, they're going to win Game 5, so they're going to go play the Astros in 2 days in Houston. Right, so it's going to be Yankees and Astros, ALCS, and then the NLCS is going to be the worst. The Padres, Phillies, it sucks.
I mean, it really sucks. So let's talk about, first of all, the Mets obviously lost. They lost the game, so they lost the division. Atlanta wins the division. Mets go play San Diego. They get beat, which, were you surprised?
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah. DeGrom and Scherzer both got beat. I mean, that was surprising. Scherzer got hammered in Game 1. He gave up 4 home runs. And then, and then DeGrom, he won this Game 2. DeGrom won Game 2, but they played all 3 games at Shea Stadium. They played the best of 3 at Shea Stadium, and the Mets lost Game 3. And then, of course, the Padres win in L.A. They lost Game 1 in L.A., and then they won 3 in a row because the Dodgers, they don't do good in the playoffs. They don't do well. They won 111 games. And, Barry, you could have almost predicted – I was telling my father, the Dodgers aren't going to win the playoff. They won 111 games. The Dodgers' record for 100 years of the Dodgers, lifespan of that franchise, over 100 years, that's the most games they've ever won, 111 games. and they got crushed in the playoffs. They got crushed 3-1 out.
They got home field. They lose it. They dominated the Padres this year. They dominate the Padres all the time, and they got nervous. It was like they were tight. They were nervous. And the Mets won 111 too, didn't they?
They won 101.
101. And then they tied Atlanta, right? Then they lost that game.
Atlanta won 101 or 102. Atlanta
Yeah, they
too.
Yeah, because Atlanta beat them the last game, so they won the division. But let me ask you this. If the Mets won the division, it doesn't matter anymore, but if they won, do you think the rest would have helped the pitching staff? I think they needed rest.
I mean, it would have, but they didn't. They didn't win, though. I mean, like, you know, they played bad in September because their pitchers are old. Like
they are old. That's a good point.
Lost all their pitchers. The Dodgers, they don't have Walker Buehler. Yep. They had Tony Gonsolin coming back from arm trouble. The Blake training, the relief pitcher got beat. He had arm trouble. Like, so the Dodgers were all injured too. Like, baseball's weird, man. Baseball, like, you win 111 games and then you lose. Like, that doesn't happen in basketball so much.
Football, or I mean,
it doesn't happen. You're right. Good teams.
Usually, when you win that many games, you're way better.
But it doesn't matter, because when you're playing the Padres, the Dodgers won the division by 22 games over the Padres. That's unheard of, right? So when you're playing the Padres, they still got Machado, they got Soto. You know, they got the pitchers, Blake Snell, they got Musgrove, they got Yu Darvish. They got Hader. They got all these good players. So it doesn't make any difference if you won the division by 22 games. The Padres are still loaded with talent. So that's why, you know, it was a quick series.
And what do you think about the Phillies? I mean,
I think they stink. I think they
stink. How
they're winning. They're not going to beat the Padres. No way. They stink.
Who did they beat the first round? They beat the Tampa Bay, or was it Toronto? Oh, that's
the American League.
Yeah, wait. Who did they beat? Who the hell did they beat? I can't even think who they beat.
They beat Atlanta in this last round.
Yeah, but before that, they beat?
The Cardinals, 2 straight.
Yeah. So they beat the Cardinals, and then
they beat 2 really good teams.
How? See, I don't
know. No idea how. No idea, buddy.
So, who's got home field in the San Diego Philly? San Diego, right?
Yeah, San Diego's got home field. Yeah.
All right, so San Diego, I'll take San Diego because I can root for Machado. But I just think it was interesting, like you said, baseball's so weird. Like, if you look at it, you know, the Mets should have won at least one series. The Braves should have won at least one series. The Dodgers should have won at least one series. You know, you got the Yankees and Houston, who honestly, in the American League, those guys were on the verge. Like Astros, like the Mariners were playing them. They were there. And then
they played them well. They played them really well,
You know, but the Yankees, I mean, come on, if they didn't win tonight, you know, I don't know. I mean,
they were down 2-1. They had to win 2-0.
Yeah. You know, so you know, the Yankees Astros going to be interesting, but I think the Astros are going to take them unless, I mean, Judge, he's got to quit striking out. I don't understand that either. He was striking out like crazy. I don't know. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
That he goes into those streaks where he'll strike out like 8-10 times. He's a streaky hitter. As good as he is, he can be very streaky. He's on a hot streak now, though. He's heating up.
Now he's back. Yeah,
he's always been streaky.
Yeah. So do you think the Astros are the Yankees?
Oh, the Astros. The Astros are the best team in baseball.
Yeah. So the Astros,
they're going to run it. Yeah, the Astros are going to win it all. Yeah.
And they'll beat the Padres.
Yeah. Well, that'll be a tough one, though. That'll be a close one.
And what did you think about the crazy part of it? And then we'll move on. That they were Buck Showalter, you know, my old Orioles manager, he was checking that guy's ears.
Yeah, that was stupid. That was dumb baseball stuff. Stupid. You know what? Buck Showalter loses all the time. All the time.
He sucks. I hate him. He gets them there, and you got all this confidence when you get there. I remember when he coached the Orioles, everybody was so excited that he was the Orioles manager. And I remember that one series, he wouldn't put Zach Britton in.
No, he lost with Britton on the bench, and Britton didn't blow one save the entire season, and he never put him in a game. He lost the series with Britton on the bench. Like, I never heard of that before.
And then I think the next year Britton went to the Yankees.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. Believe me, I was swearing at the TV. I was like, why are you doing that? Of all things, why are you doing that?
Yeah,
Everybody was nuts.
Britton was unhittable. Britton was unhittable that year. No one was going to hit him. Stupid idiot.
He's stupid. You guys stupid. Yeah. And then so when they checked the guy's ears, I was laughing. His ears looked greasy. They looked greasy, but it was just sweat. It was probably just sweat. It's it was, I don't know, he got hot. It wasn't a hot day in New York City.
They checked his ears for a long time. Like a long time they checked his ears. They didn't just go up and rub him and say, okay, go on.
It was weird. It was funny. They kept rubbing them and looking at them. And I know that they probably were thinking it's not that hot out. So how's this guy? But he's just sweating. Some guys sweat when it's 10 degrees out. He's good. That guy's good. What's his name?
Musgrove.
Oh, that guy.
Let's move on to the.
Okay, bing the bell. Wait, bing the bell. Wait, I go quickly. Bing the bell. Okay, now I want to go. I come up with these. I'm doing funny names here. I had the bats and balls. Now I want to talk about the association, but I want to call it the peach basket. The peach basket. Okay. No, but I don't want to talk a lot about it because we got to get back to football and our bets. But it's tonight's opening night. I can't stand talking about baseball, hockey, and basketball sometimes in the beginning because there's so many games, and it just drives me.
You always hated that.
It's just too many games. Like I still think we're going to get into it, but I still think the NBA should start on Christmas Day.
They never will because they need the money. Like you don't understand. To drop games, it means that you got to drop. Everyone's going to make less money. When have you ever seen an organization or a company say, you know what, we want to make less money? That's never going to happen.
Yeah, but can't they just get money from the network? Because their product, they need that product. Everybody needs them.
They can't listen. They can't drop games. They in fact, they'd like to add more. Like they can't drop games. They're not. There's no one that's going to take a pay cut. I don't care if LeBron James is making $100 million a year. He's not going to okay a pay cut for next year. Like no one does that. So there's no way that they're ever going to cut down games.
So they'll never cut down NHL, MLB, or NBA.
No, like who in those organizations is willing to take less money?
It just seems like it's a lot of games. It just seems like it's a lot.
It is a lot, but that's why the players, they don't play every game now. Like it's not like 20 years ago. I mean, what's the guy? Kawhi Leonard's coming back for the Clippers now. He's healthy, right? He's not going to play more than 50 games or 55 games.
He's healthy. He's going to be healthy for a week.
Well, yeah, and Paul George and Kawhi and Paul George, they're going to play 55 games. They're not even going to joke around about it. So they're still going to play 82 games. So the team is still going to make all that money, but the players aren't playing all the games.
How about this? How about hockey? See, you know what happens with me too? I go back as a kid, and I remember, when we were kids, we played basketball was a winter sport. Hockey was a winter sport, Soccer, football was a fall sport. Like I think sometimes my head, goes back that way. But how about this? What if they started in December? They would lose October to November and then November 2 months. And what if they just played through the summer and didn't do that stupid summer league? And wouldn't people like that because kids are off from school and you can bring them to the games more? You make the finals in the summer.
No, because they can't do that in the summer because there's a reason that all those sports don't air games in the summer because the TV ratings aren't as high in the summer because families still take vacations and families are outdoor stuff. The TV ratings are at their peak in the winter when the NFL is closing their season. So, it's a combination of a lot of things, but you're not going to get any drastic changes with those leagues. I mean, you're going to get very minor changes, and they're not even any changes. I mean, the only changes the NBA has done is they've allowed players to sit out all the games. Like they're like, yeah, just sit out. They call it game management or whatever they call it.
Yeah, game management, I think. So they can't add the summer because I get it. Kids are out from school and all that, but I would love it that way if they could do it that way.
Those leagues are not changing anything. Nothing. They're keeping it just the way it is. The NBA used to start. They're starting tonight. What is it? It's October
18th.
It's the 18th. Okay, they used to start Halloween weekend. They used to start like October 30th. So they moved their league up 2 weeks. The only reason they did that was to put more space in between games. So they don't have to do
okay. Well, yeah, because the injury, because the product's got to be on the court.
Yeah.
And if you're going to game manage guys, right, and or injury, like Anthony Davis, you know, you got to give them opportunities to get back on the court. Okay, so I can't win that fight. I'm never going to win this, even though
there's no changes. It's not even here's the thing. It's not even a discussion. That's not like no one is talking about, hey, listen, we really got to cut back 10 games a year. That's not going to happen. You realize that if the NBA cut back 10 games, do you know how much less money they'd make? Like they'd make like 20% less. I mean, you kidding me?
Well, I guess I'm not thinking too that the players want the summer off too. Yeah. The players don't want to they want to go with their family on the banana boat. Yeah. They want to go do stuff. I never thought of that. I don't even think.
But they're already playing the finals in June.
Yeah, I get you.
In July? I mean, no way.
No, I understand. Like I, you know, as usual, being a sports fan, I'm not even thinking about the players as human beings. I know. I'm just thinking what's going to work for me. And now that I talked about that for 10 minutes, it's stupid to think that these people would you know, like have to work in the summer with their families. It's not good.
No. Listen, the way it is now, it's perfect. The NFL has the summer, August and July with training camp. Baseball has the summer alone for 2 months plus. Like after the NBA and the NHL ends in June, baseball has all of July and all of August by itself. You know, and then the NFL starts up and it basically takes over. But you're right. Right now, we got Major League Baseball playoffs. We got the NBA. We got the NHL. We got the NFL. And then even in a month, we're going to have World Cup soccer in the Middle East, right?
Yeah, Dubai. No?
Qatar
or Dubai. Are those the same places?
No, I think Dubai is different than Qatar.
Am I echoing to you?
A little bit. I think your curtain's coming down behind you.
Oh, geez, really? It's gonna show all the canned goods back there, all the chichi beans and the corn and green beans, lima beans.
So let's go on to the next one. Ready? Wait.
Okay, wait. I want to ask you one more question.
Well, they do that. Fair? The bell. You still got like 30 seconds, so go.
Yeah. Is it fair to even compare Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring title that LeBron James will pass him when Kareem didn't play 4 years? You know, he didn't come in at high school.
Well, I mean, is LeBron taking longer time to pass him?
I don't know. I don't think so. Wait, how many years did Kareem play?
Well, I think Kareem played 20 years, right? I think he
yeah. So what's LeBron?
41.
Okay, what's LeBron at right now?
Well, LeBron's in his 20th year.
Yeah. Oh, so if he breaks it, I get it.
I think Kareem played 20 years or 21 years. Right? So
yeah, so that argument doesn't hold water. Like if Kareem went right from high school, those first 4 years, it still doesn't matter. You're right. Or maybe it does. Maybe it does, Tom, because it's on the front end.
Well, when you start talking about these records, though, I mean, there's not going to be like complete equity, or it's not going to be like fair. I mean, because there's more games and the game's different now. I mean, Kareem played, when the game was slower and he just got the ball every time. So he, it was a different game back then. But I don't know how to compare the two eras, or whether. I just think it's a longevity record. So it just speaks to both of their longevity. They both kept themselves in amazing shape. I think that's really the true value of this record. I think that's, LeBron playing. I was just talking to my son earlier. LeBron is entering his 20th year, and he lost some weight last year. And he wasn't overweight last year. He was just a little more muscular, a little heavier. So this year he slimmed down even more, which tells you about how LeBron looks at like his career. Like he knows that less weight is better. He knows that it's better on his knees and his feet and everything during the course of his, of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Kareem was like that. Kareem was, he was, basically light years ahead of his time when he was doing yoga. He was doing yoga at 70. And 80s.
Bruce Lee was teaching him karate.
Yeah. So Kareem was doing things 40 years ago that no one did to prolong his career. Kareem was always in fantastic shape. So that's what this record is about, really more than anything.
Yeah, they're not eating potato chips, right?
Yeah.
They don't eat potato chips.
Well, I bet you they don't eat many potato chips. I mean, probably not.
LeBron's got a commercial about potato chips. He's got some kind of hot and cheddar, two different chips, and they made one for him.
Well, so LeBron likes his wine and his tequila. So LeBron likes to drink a little bit.
Yeah, I heard he drinks a glass of wine every night now. He does that thing.
Yeah, which is not bad. It's not bad.
He'll probably own a winery down the road. Maybe he'll buy Coppola's winery.
Listen, LeBron is going to buy. He's going to buy a team. He's going to own LeBron
in Vegas.
Own the Cavaliers someday or something. You watch LeBron
or the new team in Vegas. He's going to own the team in Vegas.
Oh yeah, that's right. He wants to buy the expansion team and own it in Vegas. Yeah, you're right. That's right.
All right, so hit the bell.
All right, here we go.
And I'm going to ask you if you want to talk about this. Go again. That's a great bell. Where'd you get that?
It's for the dog to teach the dog tricks.
Really?
It's got little paws on it.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I love that thing. So let me ask you, do you want to talk about hockey at all or just say no?
No.
All right. The Vegas Knights are 4-0 though, right?
They're 3-0. They're playing their fourth game. Yeah.
Fourth game tonight. Okay, we won't talk about it. Again, when do we talk about those things?
We start talking about hockey in May. Get out of here. May.
When it's cold out. Even in Vegas.
When they're in the middle of the playoffs.
Oh, you want to wait that long?
Yeah. Get out of here with hockey. There's too much going on. I don't got time to talk hockey.
Did you know that hockey players, they have these certain pants they go buy? I think there's like certain people that make them that so they can fit in them because they're big asses and they're big thighs. Yeah, they can't fit in regular pants, you know. They can't do it.
But that has to be football players more than hockey players.
No, hockey guys, like remember Ross Bartel?
And from Rome, that was shaving when he was in 5th grade.
Yeah, he was shaving like when he was in 5th grade. He probably was on steroids then or something. But he played hockey, and he had a gigantic ass and gigantic thighs, like Robert Newhouse thighs, and an ass to match. And that's the thing, because the lower body, you're moving that lower body, and like speed skaters. You've seen speed skaters,
yeah.
Speed skaters have got big legs.
Yeah, remember Eric Heiden.
Yeah, remember Eric Heiden's legs?
Yeah.
So what happens is, there was a story I read that a lot of hockey players, they all got connections, and they all use the same connections. I don't know. I'll do some more research and find out actually the brand, and they find these places where they can get their pants. And it's not just a tailor. It's like these people that make pants, especially for their big asses and big thighs. All right, so we'll move on from hockey. So we're done with hockey. Where do you want to go? You want to go right into the Sunday sweat, this week's NFL action?
Yeah.
All right, you go ahead. Just tell me what you want to talk about.
Yeah. So this Sunday we got. Let me see the big games this Sunday.
You want to talk about Thursday Saints Cardinals?
No, the Thursday games are terrible, man. I don't know what they're doing with those games.
I think they don't want BEZO'S. I think they're purposely giving them all the crappy games because they don't want them. It's terrible.
Well, they got bad luck, though. I mean, that game last night, or was it last night? There was a game last night, right? That was a terrible game last night. Oh, my God.
Any game Russell Wilson plays in now is a bad game.
Yeah, he's bad. He stinks.
I think Seattle's smart, and I think they knew he was at his going down. He was like the stock market, like he was up. They knew he was on a trajectory down. It's weird. Like you look at him now, kind of like Aaron Rodgers. I think he's on his way down too, because those guys don't do the food and the diet and all the stuff that Brady does. Like, I think they're into it, obviously, but I think Brady's a maniac because both those guys, I know you told me it's offensive line. I get it. It is, but
who? For
both those guys, for Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson.
Well, Russell Wilson, Russell Wilson has good offense, so he has good players. I don't know why he's struggling so much, but Brady's offensive line is not as good as it was 2 years ago or even last year. He lost a couple players. They left through free agency, and then he's got a couple injuries, so his line is really struggling. He's not getting the time to throw that he needs, and they're not, so plus he's got some injuries in the out. He's missing Gronkowski. Antonio Brown, is gone. Because he took off his uniform at halftime and ran around the stadium.
He was doing influencing. He's an influencer.
That guy's crazy.
Man. He's an Instagram influencer. So what about Rodgers? You think what's that guy? Bakhtiari?
Rodgers is in a bad way too because he doesn't have any receivers. Obviously, he's got like these new guys, Romeo Dobbs. He's got this guy Christian Watson from North Dakota State or something who not good, injured all the time, not playing. And then he's got Alan Lazard and then Randall Cobb. But Randall Cobb went out, so he's out. He doesn't have any receivers. He's struggling. Like he's really.
But what about that Bakari guy? What's his name? Bakari?
David Bakhtiari.
How do you say it?
Bakhtiari.
Sometimes I want to say Bacharach.
Yeah, listen, you're going to get the name wrong anyway. Just say it how you say it. It's okay.
I'll just call him the best. He's the best tackle on their team.
You could never even say Brett Favre. You still can't say Brett Favre to this day. You never said the V. You used to call him Brett Favre.
Yeah, no, I say Brett Favre.
That's all you ever said.
It don't matter. You want to call him now? You scumbag. You scumbag. You stole all that money from those people in Mississippi. That's what I called. Now I call him that. I can't believe it, that guy. If he gets convicted of that, he took all that money from those poor people in Mississippi. Listen, they don't got nothing down there.
He's not even being charged. He's not in danger. He's the only problem that he's had so far is he's been like convicted in the court of public opinion, but he's not even charged with any kind of federal indictment or anything right now. And you know what he took the money for? To build some volleyball gym for Mississippi. For Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg, his college, Southern Miss.
Yeah, he should have been building that gym for the poor and needy in Mississippi, in Jackson or something.
It's crazy.
You know what? Listen, whatever. But okay, so let's. Okay.
He was text messaging the attorney general or the governor or some high-ranking political, some elected official. He was texting him saying, "We need that money for the gym." And the guy texted back and said, "Listen, I don't want to go to jail for this." And Favre said, the text first said, "Don't worry about it. I got it covered. Don't worry about it. We're good." What kind of?
Wait, the guy texted him that? Was the guy crazy?
But that was the text message conversation. It was some big, high-ranking elected official in Mississippi. I don't know if it was the attorney general or the governor or one of those.
I'll tell you what the problem is. I'll tell you what the problem is.
Favre is texting him going, "Don't worry about it. No one's going to get arrested. I'm Brett Favre. Don't worry."
You know what it is? They're white. It's a bunch of white guys. They've never watched a mob movie, and they don't understand that you walk around, do the walk and talk, and you have your hand. I mean, the baseball and football and all those guys, they figured it out after a while. They watch enough mom movies and they see how they put their hand over their mouth. Even when they're just walking, they do it. And then if you have to talk on the phone, you call the pay phone. And I know there's not any pay phones anymore, but you can find one maybe somewhere. And if you really need to get on the phone, but you don't text them or you don't call them on a phone with a satellite finding thing.
When Brett Favre was on the Jets, he was text messaging
that girl.
Therapist or some girl saying,
"No, the cheerleader,
whatever it was." He was text messaging her saying, "It would be so great if you were giving me a rub right now." Like what? Like the guy's an idiot.
He is.
What's wrong with him?
Well, they should just watch a couple mob movies and take notes. I can't believe that guy. I don't want to go to jail. What are you crazy?
That's the thing, though. He thinks. Based off of his text message exchange with the high-ranking elected officials in Mississippi, he had no fear of getting caught. Like he was texting like, "I'm Brett Favre. Don't worry about it. We got this. Just give me the money." Give me the money.
It's kind of like James Worthy.
The guy's like, oh, listen, I'm a little uneasy about taking it from the welfare fund. Brett Favre's like, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just send the money to me so I can get that gym. What? What's he talking about?
Because Brett Favre probably was getting kickbacks from the cement company and all the other contractors going to work on that gym. But you know what it's like?
He's been doing that stupid commercial with the waistband for your back. Him and Jerry Rice, they're doing those commercials where they wear the neoprene thing. Like, get out of here. He's making money. He's Brett Favre.
But you're right. They think they're invincible. It's like, remember James Worthy when they got caught getting those prostitutes and he signed one with a credit card? He paid with a credit card. Well, and I always said, what did he sign it? James Worthy, number 42.
That was your joke back then. It was a great joke. Yeah, he signed it in the 80s.
He signed it.
James Worthy,
Big James. All right, so we got a little off track there, but that's just how things are.
All right,
we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about the Thursday game. We're going to go Sunday.
No,
so
pick some game this week. The best game this week is the Chiefs are now playing the 49ers in San Francisco. So the Chiefs go from playing the Bills to the Niners back-to-back. That's a tough two-game back-to-back games. I mean, the Bills and the Niners are both tough teams.
And the Niners just got beat by the Falcons, but, you know.
The Chiefs lost to the Bills, right?
Yeah, the Bills beat them.
Yeah, so now they got to go into San Francisco. Now, granted, San Francisco's injured. Their defense is very injured. But that's a tough game for the Chiefs, man. I mean, like they could lose 2 in a row.
Yeah, that's not a layup. That game's not a layup.
No, the Niners are tough.
I mean, the Niners do have some injuries, but at home the Niners are a lot different too than away.
They're a tough team.
So that's so you would I don't want to talk about the picks right now, but you think that's a good game of the week. Do you think where's the other one? Do you think See, there's not a lot of
there's a lot of bad games this week, but you know what's another really good game? What's a really good game is only because their season is turning out to be so great. Is the Giants are at Jacksonville, they're playing the Jaguars, and the Giants are freaking. Well, they're 5-1. They're 5-1, right? And they're
3-point underdogs.
Yeah, and so they're still underdogs. So the Giants are playing great ball. I was talking to Frankie D. Frankie D was calling that coach for the Giants a gnome. He said he's
a gnome.
5'8".
Oh. I thought Frankie D said, I love that guy. I can relate to him.
He loves him. He loves him. He says he's relatable. He says he's relatable.
Because he thinks he could see him at Damadio's bar in Rome.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah, he'd be talking. Yeah. Okay, so you're right. The schedule this week, it's not a good schedule. Well, here's a game. Colts-Titans.
Well, yeah, that's usually a good game, but the Colts are 3-2-1. Those they somehow, and the Titans are 3-2. Wait, why are the Titans must have had a bye last week then, I guess.
Yeah, they had a bye. The Raiders had a bye. Titans had a bye.
Okay.
So this week, it's the Vikings got a bye.
Well, you know who's the surprise team so far? The Falcons. They're 3-3, but here's something that you'll appreciate: the Falcons are 6-0 against the spread. They're undefeated against the spread this year.
Really?
Yeah.
So that game they got Cincinnati -6 in Cincinnati against the Falcons.
Yeah, so the Falcons are getting 6 points.
So it might be a good you add a point. I like laying the money and you add some points and add it to 7. If Cincinnati wins by 7, if Cincinnati's up by 10 late or even 14 late, and Falcons get a backdoor touchdown,
that's how they've covered a couple times earlier. They were getting blown out, and they scored a couple late TDs just to cover the spread.
Yeah, because that Mariota, he gets them up and down the field, and he's
not a very good passer, but he does move them.
He moves them, and
the Falcons got this coach Arthur Smith. He was the assistant coach for Tennessee, with Tannehill and Derrick Henry. So Arthur Smith is an interesting story. He's been an assistant coach for a few years, bounced around. He bounced around a lot in NFL, but he had to something about his father is I think Frederick Smith or something. His father is the founder of FedEx.
Oh, really?
So this guy Arthur Smith is like comes from a wealthy family.
Holy smoke!
His father makes more than him. He's one of the few coaches where his father still makes more money than him. You know, but he did something where he said that early on in his career, I guess he was coaching in Washington or something. And I guess, Washington played in a FedEx stadium, right?
Yes.
And right, I think their stadium was named the FedEx Stadium for a while, right?
And I
So
think the Titans now, maybe the Titans have them as a sponsor now. Maybe
no, I don't. But no, Arthur Smith left. He didn't want to coach at Washington anymore because he said that he can't be associated with FedEx because he's got to go out on his own, or else his career won't take off if they think that he's just his dad.
All right, that makes sense.
So he had to like sort of try to break away from the name and try to like establish his own path. And I guess he did. I mean, he became a top offensive coordinator for the Falcons. And for the Tennessee Titans, and then he got this head job, and he's done a pretty good job. I mean, last year they were 7-9 with Matt Ryan at quarterback, and nothing. They had nothing. And this year they're 3-3. So he's done a pretty good job.
3-2. They had a bye last week, so that's the game.
No, they're 3-3. The Falcons are 3-3. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So these are you're right about the games. It's really not that fantastic. The Packers against the Washington, Bucks against Panthers. The Giants Jags is a good game. Browns Ravens isn't a good game, really.
The Jets got to go to Denver. The Jets are 4-2. They go to Denver, and the Giants are 5-1. They go to Jacksonville. I mean, that's a surprise. The Jets and Giants are both pretty good.
Yeah, that's weird that the Jets. You could take both New York teams with the points. And the Raiders, I can't believe the Raiders are a 7-point favorite. The Raiders are a 7-point favorite.
Yeah, they're supposed to blow Texans out. They won't blow them out. But look at this one. The worst game of the week is the Bears against the Patriots. Oh, my God, on Monday night. Oh, my God. That's a
terrible game. I'm not going to complain because the Vikings need a season where a lot of the good teams are not good. And that's what's happening so far. I don't know if it's going to be true later on, but the Cardinals there's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams having trouble. A lot of teams.
Yeah.
Not just a couple. The Saints Cardinals, not that great. Falcons Bengals. Bengals are barely hanging in there. Cowboys, we'll see. They play the Lions. They'll probably get beat by the Lions with Dak coming back with that finger. Colts Titans is a good game. Those teams, again, though, they're like right now, they're not playing fantastic. The Packers aren't playing great. The Washington's going to change their quarterback to what's that guy? Hanky Taylor.
No, I call him Lowenbrow.
Why?
Because it's a beer.
What's the guy's name though? Tyler Heineke. So you call him Lowenbrow.
I call him Lowenbrow.
So he's going to play, and I guess a lot of the Washington fans, I talked to Eric Raz about it, and he thinks that guy's better than Wentz. And I go, it doesn't matter. You guys stink. You don't even have. And then you got Buccaneers, Panthers.
Yeah, but go back to Washington, though. How funny was it last week when they were interviewing Ron Rivera, and they said, hey, Ron, the other three teams in your division are all 4-0, 4-1, and 5-0. And he said, you're 1-4 in last place. What's the difference between your team and the other three teams in your division? And Rivera just says deadpan, one word, quarterback.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's right.
He says quarterback. And then he tries to explain, well, their quarterbacks have been in their system longer than our quarterbacks been in our system, and those teams are built around their quarterbacks. He gave some ridiculously lame sort of like explanation that was trying to give context to what he said, and it was really bad. It was really weak. And so then the rest of the week, they kept throwing that up at him, and by the time they won the game, they won the Thursday night game, he got mad. He was yelling at the reporters. He's like, God damn it, I'm the one that wanted Wentz here, and you're pissing me off. And he stormed off the press conference. Like, what a knucklehead. You're the one that started it. You're the one that said quarterback. And now he's pissed at the media because they keep grilling him with questions about, is it true that you didn't really want Wentz and the ownership made you take him? And he's getting all mad. Like these coaches, they've been around forever. Ron Rivera's been around the NFL forever, for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
He's acting like a fool. Like, you're the one that said quarterback. Nobody twisted your arm and said, hey, say quarterback and we can get a drama going. He's the one that did it. And
you
then
know what it is, T?
upset.
Because no one can just say something and then go, "That's what I said." Everyone says something, then they apologize, or then they go through this thing. It's like a washer machine, and they just talk like he did with all that stuff. Really, what he said was true. They don't have the best quarterback in that division. Hurts is better. Dak Prescott's better. Even Rush is probably better as the backup guy for Dallas than Wentz. And then Daniel Jones is he's good. So what are we talking about? That's what he should have said. It's not about.
He shouldn't have said it anyway. Even though he's right,
Sure.
You're the coach. First of all, he's like a 55-year-old coach. You've been around forever. Don't say it. Don't say quarterback when they ask you. When they ask you what's the difference between your team and the teams that are doing well in your division, just say, you know what? We haven't caught our stride yet. We're going to catch them. That's all you got to say. You don't answer it honestly. Nobody does that. You don't gain anything from it. He gained nothing from it. Why answer the question honestly? Why not say, I mean, Ron Rivera, you've been around forever. You've been around since Mike Ditka coached the Bears in the 80s. You've been around forever. You don't know that when they ask you what's the difference between your team, you don't know that you should say, hey, you know what? There's not much difference. We're going to catch them. We're going to get it together. We're going to catch them. No, Ron Rivera says quarterback. What? Shut up. And then it's now less than a week later, he's yelling at the media for grilling him, and he's pissed off, and he goes, it really pisses me off. Shut up, Ron. You're the one that did this. You
did it. You screwed up. How are you going to motivate? How are you going to motivate your team, let alone the quarterback, when you're talking like that?
That team is a mess right now because of him. Ron Rivera is a respected football guy. I don't know why. He's been a coach for like a dozen years between Carolina and Washington. He's got like 8 losing seasons. I don't know why they respect him so much. He's not a great coach. I mean, he's probably a really good guy. So, he's well respected. I don't see how he's respected as a head coach. The guy for the Cowboys, McCarthy, everyone thinks that he's like a babbling buffoon because he can't seem to know when to challenge a play on the field, or he doesn't know when to stop the clock. But he's got like a great record. Mm-hmm. I mean, his win and loss record, even with a backup quarterback in Dallas, he's got like a winning record with the backup quarterback in Dallas. So, but Ron Rivera is so well regarded. He's such a great coach. He's a straightforward guy. And get out of here with that straightforwardness. Nobody needs straightforwardness with the media. Just bullshit the media. Just bullshit them. It's not hard.
Just bullshit them. Well, they love him because he's known as Riverboat Ron. Remember? And
I don't even get that. What Riverboat Ron? Because he used to go for it on 4th down.
Because he used to go for it when they played with the Panthers. When he played with the Panthers, when they had the Panthers.
Stupid nickname. He never the Carolina wasn't even near a river. Like there wasn't even a river that ran through Charlotte that I know about. What river?
Yeah, I don't know if there is. You're right.
Riverboat Ron.
I don't know.
And listen, everything about Ron Rivera is all wrong with that team. It's just all wrong. And,
all right, let's pick some.
That team's so good.
He sucks. All right, let's pick some picks. You gotta pick. You pick some games, and then I'll pick some quick ones here. It's a shitty week, though. It's a shitty week.
Listen, I'm gonna pick. Wow. I got a surprise pick for you this week, right?
Yeah.
I watched the Eagles-Cowboys game. I watched it really closely. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the Cowboys lost that game. They made it close at the end, but they still choked in the end. But the Cowboys are getting Dak Prescott back. They're 4-2. They had an incredible run with Cooper Rush as their backup quarterback. Like, they went 4-1. And that's pretty good considering they beat the Giants, they beat the Bengals, they beat Washington, and they beat the Rams. So they beat like a few good teams with their backup quarterback, right? And even with the Eagles, the backup didn't play a very good game, but they still somehow came back, and it was 20-17 in the 4th quarter. Okay, so the Cowboys look like they're catching their stride, but this is a weird team. The Cowboys are always a weird team. Like I never trust their mental toughness. I never trust their coach. I think that their coach is the weirdest coach. I call him Muddy McCarthy. He's Muddy McCarthy. He muddied up everything in the game. Like that game, like CeeDee Lamb got tackled on 3rd down, and he had the 1st down. It was clear he had the 1st down. For some reason, the coach, like Dallas had the ball. Like they had the ball. So they could have slowed it down and let their video guy look at the replay, and he can get a call down saying, hey, Mike, we have the 1st down. Like, you should challenge it. But what does he do? He quickly runs a play on 4th down that they don't get. And he runs a terrible play on 4th down that they don't get. Like McCarthy will muddy up anything. Like, he'll muddy up a free lunch. So
I don't know. That was bad. It's like, just challenge the spot. You need it. You need the ball.
You think, oh, it's only one play. It doesn't really have that much effect on the game. You know what? That one play tells you everything you need to know about McCarthy. You cannot trust him. Like, why the hell are you – like, it would be different. It'd be different if there was a question of the spot and Philadelphia had the ball and they were rushing to the line quick to get the play off. Now you have to determine whether – do I got to call a timeout to give my guy more time? Well, that's different. You got the ball. Like,
you don't want to give up the ball.
You can run the 40-second shot clock down or the play clock down to almost nothing, and then while your guy is looking at the video, he could say, hey, Mike, or he should say, hey, Muddy, listen, we should challenge this, right? And then Muddy McCarthy could just drop the red flag, which stops the clock.
But you know what I'm confused about too, Tom? Isn't there one of the coaches on the marker watching, like, as the play goes, and then, because there's always a coach. I think there's always a coach at the marker to watch it. I always see a guy. So right off the bat, that guy would go to him and go, I think we got to challenge it. And then I know they got to still get the.
I think in this case, every team must have a guy on the video. I think that's where this comes from. It's not a guy on the field watching it. There has to be some guy watching video replay really quickly who's got access to the coach. So I don't know what happened, but also every time Muddy McCarthy screws one of these things up, his explanation, what happened?
Nothing.
You disappeared. Wait, where are you?
I'm right here. I'm on.
Oh, there you are.
I can hear you. I can see you, and I'm on, and we're going.
Oh, there you are. My phone was ringing, so you clicked away. So
okay.
No, what I'm saying is that every time Muddy McCarthy screws up one of these challenge plays, or he screws up like the clock at the end of the half or the end of the game, his explanation afterwards never answers the question. Like, he never gives like an explanation that is even remotely close to the question. Like, they asked him, why didn't you challenge that play? Like, he was clearly across the line. And his explanation was, well, the referee told me that his knee was down. What? Like that? Well, of course the referee got it wrong, dummy. Like, the referee got it, like that was his explanation. That's what he said to the media afterwards. Well, the referee told me his knee was down. I'm like amazed. I'm amazed that he's still doing this.
He always seems like he's in a fog, like he's confused.
Yeah, like he's not a bad coach, and he's not a stupid guy. But what happens is he's terrible when it comes down to like last second decisions. He's terrible when there's a clock on him. He can't function. Like, he's just like, that's his weakness. If something happens quickly, he doesn't have kind of anticipation. He doesn't know how to slow the game down and say, wait a minute. Like, he's never a step ahead. Never. So, that's his weakness. And it's happened enough where, like, the owner, like Jerry Jones, he's so involved with the team. You would think the owner would come down and say, listen, we're going to hire a guy, and he's going to handle the end of game situations with the clock, and he's going to handle the challenge play. And they don't even have to tell you that there's a guy. They don't even have to tell you that they hired a guy. They could just put someone there. Yeah. They could say to him, he could say, listen, Muddy, we're going to take it off your hands. Don't say anything. Don't tell anybody. But there's going to be a guy that's going to be in your ear saying, Mike, call timeout now. And you do what he said. You know, like that's what they should do. Again, you don't have to be honest with the media. You don't have to tell the media that someone took over that part of the game, right? But this guy is still controlling whether you kick a field goal or not in the last 30 seconds. He can't do it. Like
That's a good point.
So
are you saying you're going to take the Lions?
That's what I'm getting at is now the Cowboys are set up. They're set up. They got Dak coming back. They got a good defense. They got a good team. The Cowboys are a good team. I mean, you can't
at home,
right? So they got a good team. This is the kind of game where I guarantee you they come out and they play flat. And the Lions are one of those teams that are gritty. You can't give them an inch. If you give them an inch, they'll run you. They'll run you right into the ground. I have a feeling this game is going to be close and down to the wire. And I take the Lions plus 7 points.
Okay. You got anything else?
Yeah.
Or is that your game of the week?
No, the other thing is this. I got another surprise. For you, buddy. Okay. The Raiders are 7-point favorites. The Raiders are off to a really bad start, but everyone is convinced that the Raiders are a good team, much better team than their record. The Texans are going to do the same thing to the Raiders that the Lions are going to do to the Cowboys. The Texans are another gritty team. They're going to come in and they're going to play their balls off on Sunday here in Vegas. And that's going to be a close game. If the Raiders win, it's going to be a Daniel Carlson field goal because they got the best kicker. They got one of the best kickers in the league. The Raiders are going to win by like 2 points or 3 points or something like that. The Texans are going to cover, and I think that the Lions are going to cover. And those are two, like any sharp better, you know, the sharps in the square. Any sharp better is going to say, that Tommy T don't know shit. Like any sharp better is going to go, that guy don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I may not know what I'm talking about, but I'm telling you, I don't trust the Raiders. I don't trust the Cowboys. I say pick against them. And
you could even add the hook in it. And buy the hook and have 7.5.
Yeah,
which would be
how much now? You always talk about that. So how much would that cost me?
Probably another 10. So if it's 110 to win 100, and they're you're plus 7, maybe it'd be another 10 or 15. So it'd be 120.
Okay.
Or 125, 130. So sometimes it's worth it on both of those games. To do that, and it won't be a lot because they're already down a dog by 7. So my thing is I'm going to do my senior 6-pack. I'm going to do my senior 6-pack, which is a combination of 3 games and 6 picks, and I put them all together and I try to see if I can make this happen here. So I'm going to take the Bengals. I think the Falcons are good, and I know they've been playing good, but I'm going to take the Bengals at home, and I'm actually going to lay the 6 points. And I'm going to take the over.
Wow.
And I'm going to take the over in that game. I got a feeling that Joe Cool is going to roll these guys this week. And let's see here. Because Atlanta, they beat San Fran. They're going to be all happy they beat San Fran. They almost beat Tampa Bay. And the Bengals barely beat the Saints. Like they were at New Orleans. They were at Baltimore. They lost to Baltimore. They barely beat the Saints. They're coming home. I think they're going to regroup. And I think they're going to see that they got that division if they move, if they make moves, because Baltimore is faltering too. And don't get me started on that, because sleepy Lamar Jackson, he ain't worth $300 million. The guy makes mistakes left and right. He makes mistakes. The guy's terrible. So I think Cincinnati.
None of these quarterbacks are. None of these quarterbacks are worth money. None of them are that good.
Did you see that Lamar Jackson? Like again, he's in the fourth quarter. It's in the fourth quarter. He looks like he just woke up. He's throwing the ball around. He's fumbling. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Lamar Jackson's a good player. He's a good quarterback. He's not that good.
He's not great. So I think the Bengals are going to seize that division. This week's going to be their start of seizing that division. I'll take the Bengals minus the 6 and the over. Then I'm going into the late games, and I'm going to take the Chargers minus 6.5. I'm going to buy it down to 6, and I'm going to take the over in that game too, because Seattle, man, that Geno Smith, he can light up the scoreboard. That guy is good.
Man, did Seattle make the trade of the year by getting rid of Russell Wilson and giving the job to Geno? Geno's better than Russ.
Geno's awesome. That guy's like fantastic, and they score. So there's going to be a lot of scoring there. I know the Chargers didn't play that fantastic yesterday, but the Denver's got a good D, and I think they'll reboot and they'll be able to move the ball at home, and they're playing at home again against the Seahawks. I think they'll take that, and then I feel that the Dolphins are going to come back after getting beat by my Minnesota Vikings, even though they had like 500 yards of offense. The Vikings still beat them. The Dolphins had like 400 something yards of 480 or 4.
The Vikings don't have a good defense.
No, they give up the yards. But they stopped the Dolphins. But then again, we're talking about the third string quarterback. Then he went out, and then Teddy Two Gloves came in, and Teddy Two Gloves burned him. I mean, he was beating them. But the Vikings, they won. They're ugly. They're winning ugly, and I love it. You know what I mean? And they're winning in the fourth quarter, so they're showing they got some huevos. But I'm going to take the Dolphins. Tua's coming back. I'm going to take him. Can we call him the throw-in Samoan number 2.0?
He's not Samoan.
He's Hawaiian. He's Hawaiian, right? Isn't that Samoan?
Yeah, but Samoan is the throw-in Samoan. You remember the throw-in Samoan from the 70s? You mean Jack Thompson?
Yeah.
How do you remember that guy?
I remember that guy. I think we should call Tua the throw-in Samoan 2.0.
You can't call him a Samoan. He's not Samoan. You can't just make up a heritage for the guy.
There are a lot of Samoans on that Hawaiian island.
I know, but I don't think Tua's one of them.
And Brigham Young University goes and recruits all of them. They get them, and then they send them on a mission. And then they bring them back, and they're like a year older, and they're gigantic, and they're big, and they're strong. Okay, anyway, I'm going to take the Dolphins. -7. I'll just keep it at -7. I'm going to take the over. They're playing the Steelers. Kenny Little Hands Pickett. That's another my nickname. Kenny Little Hands Pickett. Got little hands, guy. I don't even know. Little hands. Yeah. So that's my senior six-pack. Dolphins minus, Dolphins over. Chargers minus, Chargers over. And the Bengals and Joe Cool and over. And yours are the Lions. Yours are the big upset specials. The Lions +7, maybe by the hook, 7.5. And then you've got the Texans. Coming into Vegas, you're going to go against your hometown team.
I think that both the Cowboys and the Raiders can win those games, but I just like the NFL so close this year. I don't know. I don't see the Cowboys blowing anybody out, man. The Cowboys are a weird team. They're good. Right. They're talented, but man, they'll make bad plays when you least expect it.
Yeah. Hit the bell. Hit the bell. Right, you got any final sweaty thoughts?
No, my final sweaty thought is this. Tom Brady goes to Robert Kraft's wedding on Friday night, right? Yeah. And then he decides to meet the team in Pittsburgh on Saturday for the game on Sunday, right? Okay, big deal. No big deal. Like normally an NFL team, they cut out practice at 2:00 on Friday. So maybe Brady boarded a private jet right after practice and got up to New York in time for his former boss's wedding, right, on Friday night. Okay, no big deal. But the thing is this. If Tampa beats like the suddenly downtrodden Steelers like 35-3, nobody would have gave it a second thought. Like nobody would have said anything about it. But because Tampa Bay loses another game, now they're 3-3, they lose to the Steelers who stink. Everyone knows the Steelers stink. So now all everyone's talking about is what's Brady doing? Like, why is he taking 11 days off during training camp? And why is he taking Friday and Saturday off to go to a wedding? Like now they're saying that Brady's not fully committed. So again, this is another thing where
what his wife said too.
She said that he's not committed to her though, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. She said the same thing. He's not fully committed to what's going on here.
So now listen, but that's what what ends up happening is, you come out like the way you conduct your life. You don't escape anything. So he comes out. His wife says that he's not committed to her marriage, and his team is saying that he's not committed to them and their cause. So now he's like he's not pleasing anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're not satisfying anyone right now. So he's in a precarious position right now. It's not looking good, for TB12. And I mean, they could easily turn around with 2 or 3 wins in a row and then everyone forgets about it. But if the team continues to struggle, TB12 is going to have to answer. You're going to have to answer.
Yeah. And I've had our PR department call him, which is me.
Yeah.
But he won't take my call now. He doesn't want to come on now anymore. I think he thinks we're going to ream him, like really get on him about everything. He's trying to just play football now. He loves you, but now he don't want to talk now. He's like, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, look at what he's done has been bad. If the team wins, but now you're asking for it and whatever. And then he's yelling at his teammates on the sidelines. He's dropping a bunch of F-bombs.
Yeah. He's spit on. Well, my final sweaty thought is,
go for it.
I think in the next few weeks, there's going to be some interesting running back changes. I think Melvin Gordon was very disappointed last night. He had like 2 carries or 3 carries for 8 yards. He thought he should have been in the game. I don't think he's happy. Cam Akers is also like supposedly not happy in LA with the Rams.
Yeah, he's not even anymore.
Yeah. And then McCaffrey, there's news the Carolina wants to move McCaffrey. So I don't know who's going to take those teams. I mean, 49ers need a running back. I don't know who else would want those guys, but I know the 49ers need a running. Maybe the Bills and the Chiefs, they always want guys.
Yeah, those are the 3 teams. You just hit it right in the head. Those are the 3 teams that want running backs for sure, right there.
And there's gonna be something happen in the next few weeks. But I don't understand how Kansas City can do it because they got 2 good running backs. The guy from Rutgers, that rookie, he's good. I don't know his name.
Pacheco.
His name's Chico?
No, Pacheco.
Oh, we should call him Chico. Hey, yo, okay. Chico, yo. So he should call. And they got that little guy, with 3 names from LSU.
Oh, Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, I guess these guys with their hyphen.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah. So why would they need Akers or McCaffrey or Gordon?
Well, because they're a team that can incorporate different guys into their system, and they hit you with multiple different angles and multiple plays and different players. I mean, they're kind of team that could.
But McCaffrey's going to be worth a lot more than the other 2 guys, right?
Well, yeah, but the problem with McCaffrey is that he's got a huge contract. So whoever gets him stuck with his contract. I think the other guy, Akers, is on his rookie deal. Akers has no contract. And Melvin Gordon, his contract's not that big.
No, yeah. But that's going to happen. That's my final sweaty thought. Okay, so ring the bell.
All right, buddy.
All right, so everybody, that's it for us. Old Men Sweats, Barry D and Tommy T. Go follow us on all the social media at Old Men Sweats. Go subscribe to us on YouTube and all that good stuff. Go listen to us on all the podcast platforms. And always remember this about us. All you people out there, you youngins and you old people, because I know there's some youngins that probably watch, but they don't want to say they watch. You youngins and you old people, remember this, and always remember about us. We won't try harder next time. So
don't even ask.
So don't even ask. All right, T, that was good.
All right, buddy. Good job, buddy.
All right, stay steady, Las Vegas. That was good. It was a lot of information. You were like,
good job.
You were an unbelievable information machine today. My God. All right, later.
Yeah, buddy.
I'll catch you later. Crazy. That was crazy. The guy was like insane.
Listen to me now. Listen to me now. Listen to me now. Listen to me now. Listen to me now.